It's nice, man. That's the thing. Yeah, you just get to, you can zone out. Sometimes I'll throw headphones on and just get in a groove.
Right. All right, so let's see. Okay, collectively, who is Vincent Van Doughnut?
Vincent Van Doughnut, collectively, is actually a company that was started by me, Vincent Marsden, my brother-in-law, Will Salisbury, and my father, Bill Marsden. Was something that I had thought up. I was actually over in Berlin in 2010 with my wife. She owns a place called V Vegas. It's a hair salon right across from the Moonrise Hotel, and she was over there competing in the Worldwide Hair Tour. And we were just in Berlin, and they have all these pastry shops, really cool donuts, and the Berliners, and they seem to be like almost on every street. And, just kind of struck me that there's good pastry shops here. I mean, you got La Patisserie Choquette, you got those other really good pint size. You got Whisk, you got some really neat bakeries. They're fairly new, but no one was doing the stuff with donuts. So I mean, that was kind of something that I got super obsessed with when I got back, and sat on the idea and found a recipe. It was an Amish recipe is what I started with. Potato yeast raised recipe. Worked on that for it was probably like a year and a half. Got completely obsessed with it. That's what I started working with. I mean, that was something that working out of a 2.7 liter fryer in my kitchen, right over here at Delmar and Hanley, and then a little stand mixer. I actually still use it. Started getting really good response, I started having family taste them and stuff like that, and then I started looking, I said, this is catching on, I'm getting great response. I mean, that was kind of somewhat of a small market test, and I knew I could do it. I got to the point where I couldn't even, it was like every 5 seconds of the day I was thinking about donuts, and I got completely obsessed. I was dreaming about it. It was weird, and I just thought I got to do something. Someone's going to do this, and that's right when you saw Unique Sweets, and you saw these other TV shows starting to come out that about donuts, and I thought this is going to happen. Someone's going to do it. And to be honest, sure as shit, all of a sudden I heard about this place called Strange Donuts that was opening.
Right.
And I thought, okay, well, St. Louis is ready. It's time to do it. So I started really plugging away, and I went through a couple people as chefs, pastry chefs, and then went back and around. My brother was an original person that we were working with. And then my brother-in-law, my wife, had told me that Will was interested in investing. So I talked to Will, and right in 2013, he came in. I brought him in to open the truck. And that's when my father found Clyde, which is the truck's name. It was the Denver Pie Truck. He actually sold little mini pies. So my father found him on Craigslist. I flew out to Colorado, out to Denver, picked up the truck, and drove it back. It took 17 and a half hours.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a bummer. And the window flew out after the second hour on the highway. The curved window. It's a neat old 1960 Grumman Olson step van. He's actually parked out back right now. And his name was Clyde. He had a Facebook page. He had a pretty good following. He had a different ramp, obviously, but they say it's bad luck to change a vessel's name. And I think that really goes for ships and whatnot, but it was kind of let's just keep it the same. And then we started to have a lot of fun with it, and then right after I'm kind of making this go along, I'm just talking. Right after it opened, I got a call from the Donut Showdown, and it was something that I had gotten obsessed with too, is while working on this idea, that's like the Cupcake Wars for donuts. Mm-hmm. It's on the cooking channel. I got a phone call, and they wanted to know. They thought the idea, the look, all that stuff, the images of the donuts was a perfect fit. So Jamie Hardesty and myself went up there. She was my pastry chef at the time. They flew us up to Toronto, and we competed for the first edition, the first show of the second season, and we won. And that was that really started the ball rolling, or kept the ball rolling, I should say. It just kept picking up speed.
Yeah. So what about the actual shape? Where did the square shape come from?
The shape, man, that's something like, there's a place in New York, there's a couple called Donut Plant. They do some squares. I had seen it before, but I don't use, I do everything by hand. I mean, we make the cutters and all that stuff. I've got the circle cutters. We do our cakes. Cake donuts are circles. But I use a 6-disc pastry divider, this guy, and you only get one roll with yeast. One re-roll. One re-roll. So once this stuff, I can roll it up and use it again only one time. Okay. If you use a circle cutter, you end up having way more waste. And I mean, with squares, to be honest, it's a cool look. No one in St. Louis was doing it.
Right.
It's a bigger donut. Per ounce, man. I mean, this, like, a lot of people don't know. They kind of bat their eye at it. Some people have. They look at, it's like $2.75 for a donut. But per ounce, these are cheaper than a Krispy Kreme is. Krispy Kremes are like $1.08, and it's 1.8 ounces. These are 5.5 to 6 ounce donuts.
Yeah. People are always shocked when they see. First time I saw them, I was like, man, these are huge.
They're big.
And they look good, just period. They look like artwork.
They're big. Well, thank you. I mean, so everything, all the fillings, all the curds, the glazes, the streusel, the ganache, all that stuff. We don't open cans. The can that I open right now is a sweetened condensed milk, and I do that's for dulce de leche, which I put in a churro donut. But so, yeah, we make everything though. I mean, so that's, it's just it's a neat look. It stands out. So that's really kind of the reason why. I mean, it's just something that I tried and it worked,
Now, let's see, was donuts the first pastry you wanted to focus on?
Yeah, when I used to own a place called Mirasol, right? That was down across from the pageant there. It's now Pie. I sold my lease to Chris Summers for the first pie restaurant there. And I used to do churros down there, and we had really good churros, and it was great. So that was kind of my first introduction and playing around with dough. Had a really good pastry chef at that time too, and it was just fun. So I mean, that was kind of the start of it. But I mean, I didn't go to culinary school. I got, just like I said, I got obsessed with the stuff, and I started doing a lot of research and like completely self-taught, really. I mean, it was just something that, I don't know. I mean, it's weird because it's the fermentation. Like, there's definite science behind it, and I mean, you can mess it up easily.
Right.
But it's just, it's neat. I just got fascinated by this stuff.
I know that from brewing beer.
Yeah.
My first batch was completely flat.
Really?
Yeah, it was terrible. The whole yeast thing and science.
So that's it, yeah. I mean, that's the yeast raise. The majority of stuff of what I do is these yeast raised donuts, and then the cake ones, the leavening agent is different. I mean, it's baking powder, and that's easier. These you let it ferment, you cut it, you let it second proof, then you fry. I mean, cake, you mix the batter. You can literally, it's all hand cut too. We don't use the hoppers. I mean, there's places that turn out a lot more donuts. They put it all in the hopper, and then they just crank it, put it over, and it just drops them in like that.
How long do you have to let it ferment before you can even work with it?
This actually, I mean, this is pretty close. Like this can sit overnight, but usually it sits for, an hour or two.
Oh.
I use a different yeast. I use a saffron, which isn't necessarily, you can use a fresh cake yeast, you can use other active yeast, but I use an instant yeast, which actually kind of speeds along the process without compromising the flavor.
Okay.
So
the name.
Yeah.
Who was like, this is what I got, I have to use this name, and what even made you think of that?
So my first name is Vincent. It's a family name. Vincent Van is actually my 5-year-old son. He's about to be 6. And to be honest, the name Vincent Van Doughnut was something we had joked about. We do artisanal donuts.
Right.
It's kind of a play on words. We were getting a 1960s step van, to serve out of. And my son, and we do donuts called Mini Vinnies. That's kind of been his nickname, is Mini Vinny. So it's kind of a tribute. It's kind of it's named after my son, but it also ironically happens to play on a couple other things. But one of my wife's stylists, honestly, had said it as well. I thought, okay, well that's interesting, and it has a good ring to it. So we just decided to go with that. It was going to be Vinny's Donuts. It was going to be Vincent's. It was going to be. We had a couple other different names for it. When it first started out with my brother, when he and I were the idea, we were going to do like healthy donuts and devil donuts, and it was going to be Big O donuts, like a big orgasm. But then that's right when that Big O liquor came out. Of course, so we scratched that idea. But yeah, so to answer your question, it's named after my son. It's Vincent Van, and it kind of just it plays off of it. People, I like the fact that they don't know that. A lot of people think that it's just like Vincent Van Gogh and it's artistic, and we've had a lot of people ask, why don't you have Vincent Van Gogh artwork around? And we had thought about that for a while, doing stuff with local schools and their art programs, and having the winner print out their art and put it in every single donut box that we send out for the month and that type of stuff. And we may still do something like that in the future, but we kind of strayed away from that because we don't, as you can see, there's no Vincent Van Gogh anywhere in the place. So it's not, I thought that was maybe a little bit too gimmicky and whatnot. But so, long answer short, it's named after my son, Vincent Van.
Cool. Okay, so why did you decide to have Clayton as a location versus like St. Louis City?
We looked in St. Louis City. We actually looked right next to Sauce on the Side. We looked down there. When we were looking, there was a place called Pharaoh's Donuts down in the city, which just opened. A gentleman who's been in business for probably as long as I've been in the restaurant business. I think he's been doing it for about 24 years, to be honest. Almost exact. But he was doing wholesale, and he opened his store down there. So, we had a good realtor. We went all around the city. We looked for high density places. We looked for the right size places. We looked for, just convenient location.
Are you guys close?
I can sell you something.
This might be an odd question. What about alcohol-infused flavors?
Sure, man. For sure. We do.
Of course, rum would be great.
Rum will be good. Back here, even right now in the fridge, I've got margarita lime curd. I've got rum chata. We've done rum chata glaze, bourbon maple glaze. Absolutely. Right now, in fact, I'm working on Tuesday. I'm going to be doing donuts for a buddy of mine who owns a place called Soha over on Hampton. And it's a tap takeover, and he's got some incredible beers. So I'm going to be putting that in. I've done something for Four Hands Brewery before with like it was a milk chocolate stout and a chocolate cake donut with some toasted orange. I soaked some sesame seeds and orange extract and then toasted those. That was with some orange peel and chocolate. It was really, it was really neat. I actually think I think they go very well together. You gotta watch it, kind of, some of the stuff, if you put it in, it will affect the dough, so you gotta be careful what you're doing with it, but I did a car bomb one for St. Patty's Day down in Tam, down in Dogtown. So you can have fun with it, but if it goes in the glaze, we don't cook the glaze, so the liquor actually stays in it too, so that might not be the best thing for a kid, but we did one for a wedding where it was the margarita ones. We've done those for Cinco de Mayo. We've done that type of stuff where it actually has the tequila. We just did one for the Jimmy Buffett concert. Of course, he always sings about his margaritas. So that's a great pairing. It opens a lot of doors. Even with like port wines, if you do like late harvest, you got sweet wines. I'm actually working right now with. I've got some of the cherries from the month-old Manhattan over at the Moonrise at the Eclipse They make their own, they do their own cherries over there. And I mean, it's like Seth, the bar manager over there, has come up with an incredible marinade for him. And it's like, I mean, it's all spice. It's, he's got lemon, he's got, he won't even tell me everything that's in it, but we're going to do a month-old Manhattan bourbon cream donut. It's going to be the next one that I do. So yeah, I think they pair really well together.
Yeah, the idea, I got that idea from, because my first story I did wasn't like a big feature thing, but the one who helped me to keep my everything.
Yeah.
At Clementine's.
Yeah.
I went there for her grand opening, and she kind of connected me with a few people in the industry, and she's been helping me a lot.
Cool.
So I was really interested in checking out her ice cream because it has all these unique flavors. I was like, wow, it sounds so good. So yeah,
she uses alcohol.
Yeah, and every flavor that she has listed in ingredients, you taste it all. It's incredible.
Is that right? I need to get down there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another step. I mean, so donuts, I mean, the whole thing of like cake and ice cream, I mean, they go really well with ice cream.
Yeah, maybe someday you guys can do some kind of collaboration.
Well, I mean, I can imagine, I can see that.
Yeah.
We'll see, I'll have to reach out. I don't gotta get down. I don't get out too much. I come into work at 5 p.m. I stay until 5 a.m. and, I got my wife works full time. We don't see each other. so I don't typically get out too much. I mean, I have Sundays off, usually.
Yeah.
Not the full day, but to where we get to do stuff. And Vinny likes ice cream, so maybe that'll be a trick to the tank.
So about how many flavors are you currently producing on a regular basis?
Right now, every single night, like the core ones, we put up about 11 to 12. So those right there's 10. You can see, I mean, there's going to be like, it's got the vanilla and glazed on one, so that's 11. We got the Pop-Tart, is 12. I do donut bread pudding. I do cinnamon rolls. I've done those with, bacon in the center of the cinnamon roll. My wife called those the cinnamon roll. Like behind you right there, I do lemon meringues. I do strawberry shortbread. So these are the core ones right now, and then on the weekends and throughout the week, like I'll get, kind of, I don't know, not ADD, but I get kind of just an idea in my head and we'll run with it, and I'll come up with something else and we'll put it out for the weekend. So tonight we've got a huge production. We're probably going to stick to that. We might end up doing the lemon meringue. I just got a really cool filler. I used to do everything by hand with a pastry bag. But this is kind of an old vintage, it's a neat old vintage pastry filler with a hopper on the top. This guy right here.
Oh yeah.
It's got the Bismarck tip right here, and then you just fill it. The thing's amazingly accurate. So we're going to start doing a lot more filled donuts as well. But I also did the mini minis. So we've got a couple other lines. I'll use the next step up on the cutter than this, and then we'll do those and we'll fill them. So I've done that and filled it with like a blueberry compote or like raspberry or lemon rolled in with powdered sugar. Or I just did a peanut butter and chocolate ganache and pipe that into a donut hole and then coat that with chocolate and then top it with peanuts and put a little bit of that ganache on top too, and you shock it in the freezer really quick, and then it solidifies, basically the ganache in the center, so it's kind of like a truffle, like a donut truffle. I've got a food grade lye bath. I've got food grade lye, and we make a lye bath, and I do pretzels out of this dough as well. With
Oh wow.
I've done a Schlafly beer caramel with it, like you do the holes and then you just bake them. So that's really cool, and Sugar Fire has used them for sandwiches, as for specials in the past and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really neat. I mean, it's kind of like, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like, cupcakes are. Like if you get Or like a chef with like a plain white plate. Like at Mirasol, we used to have these big white plates. In fact, I still have them in my kitchen at home, some of them. But I mean, they were big dishes like that, and it's just really neat, just plain, like really bright white. And it's kind of like a canvas, and that's the thing, like with a cupcake or with a perfectly, what I can think is pretty close to perfectly piece of fried dough, and then you get to build onto that, you know. I mean, so there's just like an endless amount of stuff that you can do with it.
Yeah, you don't have very much waste, I'm starting to realize.
We don't. I won't. I don't like to. I mean, that's the thing, is like, even if I have any of these left over here, those are going to be bread pudding.
Wow, right.
Yeah. So no. I mean, that's the idea.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, is to save everything. Try to. I mean, obviously, like I said, I don't use any stabilizers. I don't use softeners or conditioners or anything that works on the front end or the back end with the dough. So I mean, it's gonna start staling, right away, which is why I reduced the price, because it's gonna be perfectly fine when you try one later on. But it's not like it is at 6 o'clock when you walk in the door, and we just finished them at 5, you know what I mean? So so I don't like that. I probably could sell those for full price, but it's not the exact quality that I want you to have, the exact experience when you walk in here in the morning.
So now did you start only with the food truck, or did you have the actual brick and mortar store?
No, we started with just the food truck. So the food truck was September of 2013. And then probably, about a year later, I used to work, about a year later, after running the truck, we decided it was time to go and look for a store. So the store's only been since March 14th, so it's been just over 3 months. If you'll excuse me, I gotta grab really quick. I want to grab some more sheet pans. Has to pull, and that's the whole thing of forming the gluten strands and all that stuff. See, the other shops, it's a little easier. They do, from what I know, and I have not been proven wrong yet, we're the only from scratch donut shop in St. Louis. There's other places that do, Winslow's does donuts. They do it from scratch, but all the other places, all the other shops actually use the base mix.
Oh, okay.
And I think you can tell the difference.
Are you a St. Louis native?
I am.
You are?
Yeah.
You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, born and raised. And then I moved out. I went to grew up in Sunset Hills, went to Smet, then went to Humsel, I went to Merrimack, I went to Forest Park for a stint, went to KU for a couple of years, and then graduated from Maryville. And I did all that in 4.5 years.
Wow. It's all blurred now.
Yeah, that was it. I graduated college in '98, so and then I moved out to California right after that. I didn't really graduate. I think the day that they were walking in the class, I was driving out to LA, and so I actually went out there to try and become a stuntman. I grew up doing like gymnastics and diving. I did platform diving at Shaw, and really wanted to just get out to California. I figured I'd try to make money off of it. But the whole time I worked in restaurants, I still bartended just have gotten, I'm kind of, like, you wouldn't know it by looking at my car necessarily, but I'm kind of OCD when it comes to certain things. And, I take a lot of inspiration from, like, other chefs and, like, flavor combinations, stuff like that. So, like, lemon lavender is nothing really extraordinary, but it pairs really well. Like, strawberry rhubarb, stuff like that. I worked for Gerard Kraft for a while over at Niche when I was in the process of opening the truck, and his pastry chef is Ann Croy, and she's incredibly talented. And you've got that's at Osteria, and then you've got Sarah Osborne at Niche, who's just incredible too. And I mean, just watching them work. So I mean, I've taken a lot of inspiration from non-pastry items, and you can do. There's a whole different savory side to donuts that you can mess with. And I'm not talking about stuff like putting a crab rangoon on top of it or doing stuff like that. And I mean, there's a place for that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that I think of it as more of like creating a dish and something like that as opposed to recreating something that's already happened. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So no, I mean, but of course we've got the glaze. Of course we've got the chocolate salted caramel. I mean, that stuff's easy. But, the French toast. I mean, chocolate chip cookie. I mean, there's a lot of the stuff is kind of simple, but you never really see it on like a donut. I mean, and then there's other fun things like the vanilla mascarpone, or you do like a cardamom whipped cream with a strawberry shortbread, and we make everything from scratch too. We did like a creme brulee donut with graham marnier, and stuff like that. So again, like the possibilities are endless, but you can't. I mean, it's still a donut, so you can't take it too seriously. But you can definitely have a lot of fun with it.
Now, when, like the holidays, Thanksgiving, namely Christmas, when that comes around, do you change recipes up to fit the holiday?
We'll do stuff, yeah. I'll do like a spiced cake donut. Do that, I mean, there's seasonal flavors for sure. I mean, we're not, right now I just did a lemon or the lemon lavender is going to most likely leave. The strawberry rhubarb muffin I just did. I mean, there's certainly seasonalities. I mean, and menus should reflect that. I mean, if you're not opening cans and stuff like that, you're really trying to, even if you stay regional, I mean, you can get a lot of really neat stuff sourced locally, and it's cool to reflect that in your menu. So I mean, that's like a lot of stuff that I'm kind of doing research on now is, using locally sourced things. Like I did a maple blueberry donut not too long ago with some locally raised 7 at night. So yeah, we do. I mean, and some of them aren't listed. If they're private, like the truck is actually going out this coming week. I don't have it up there, but I probably won't list like, I mean, we've got like graduation parties, we got stuff like that too, the truck goes. But yeah, we don't list everything. We will list stuff like if you could, if you could come. We tried doing the parking and tweeting thing, which a lot of trucks do, like City Guard and stuff like that, but it never really worked too well for us. And the deal with that is you got to stay just super consistent. I mean, people have to know that every Monday you're going to be at City Guard, every Tuesday you're going to be at BJC, and every Wednesday you're going to be at Wells Fargo, and that's, and you got to stick with that. And then you see that a lot of those places are first come, first serve. And then when we got in, I mean, we were the 41st truck, I think, in St. Louis, and now it's up to like 53.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's still growing, which is great, but I mean, then, so we just decided, well, we got to start booking ourselves. So we started sending, so that's what Will, kind of, when he started, he kept his job for a while. I was doing the whole truck and doing all the making, doing all that stuff myself. And then when he could afford it, or basically kind of afford to bring him in, he put his 2 weeks in, and he came on board full time. But he would book, he would send emails and stuff like that from his phone at work, so he wouldn't be on the work computer. And we would just book at places. We'd book at corporate parks, and we'd go, and we got some really good feedback, and then they would request us to come back. So we started building like a calendar, and in the morning it would be, it's donuts, so there is even here, there's a lull during the afternoon, which is why we're going to probably expand our product to other savory items and stuff. But, donuts, we got 7 a.m. till 11, and then after that, the lunch trucks come up. There's walkaway waffles here in town. There's virtually no other competition. You've got a crate truck. Some people, you can do donuts for breakfast, but there's no real, the destination desserts or the Sarah's cupcakes, those usually pair up with a savory truck for lunch or something like that. There's not really any breakfast trucks. Now there's Rise Coffee, and they do some pastries and stuff like that too. And they've got a 3-group espresso machine on there, and they turn out some pretty decent coffee. They're representing Blueprint and some coffee, and they've got good stuff on there. But we kind of like cornered the market. We're the only donut truck, and there's no other, there aren't any breakfast trucks.
Good.
So people dig it, yeah. People kind of just, it was well received. Something different than their normal, croissants from Panera and stuff like that.
Right. Wow, okay, so the incorporation of bacon and sausage gravy. Where'd that come from?
Bacon and sausage gravy?
Yeah, you sausage gravy too?
We did donut holes. That was like donuts and gravy.
Okay.
So that was something that was actually my wife's idea a while ago. And a long time ago, man, like when this first started, it was with me and my wife. It was usually after like some glasses of wine, and then we'd be sitting around in the kitchen. Yeah, coming up with ideas, man. We did that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
When this whole thing was starting, and that's like one night, that was like basically how it started. I was like, let's go. And then we like went up to Walmart and got this stand mixer and got a 2.7-liter fryer. That's how the whole thing started. And we just started writing stuff down. And she's been incredible this whole time. Super helpful. And honestly, probably couldn't have done any of this without her. But just a real big support. But she's also super creative too. In her line of business, to be. And she owns her own place as well. But so she's super creative. So we did a chicken and waffles one. I was like, man, no one is doing this stuff.
Wow, yeah.
And then Strange did one. And it's like, but that's, so I still have a couple ideas that no one's done.
Yeah.
That I'm holding on to. But we did donuts and gravy, and then they did like a biscuits and gravy. But what we did was holes. We used the holes, and then we put those in a boat, and then pour sausage gravy over it. And then just recently did a savory muffin. It was actually from St. center. So you gotta, and that's like a reverse science because, you know, an egg will, the yolk will cook at like 159, but you have to get the inside of a muffin to cook to like 189 or something like that. So you have to boil it for 4 minutes, shock it in ice, and then you peel it, and that's the hardest part. Is you hold this gelatinous weird thing in your hand, and then you pipe in the bottom, you put it in there, and you pipe around it. So that, and then then Will was like, why don't you do that with sausage gravy? So the next one I'm going to do, I'm going to freeze little ice cubes of sausage gravy and do that in the middle of the savory muffin, which should turn out really well. But I mean, that's just another thing. It's like breakfast foods. You know, I've thought about doing like a country fried steak somehow, like with a donut. You know, I mean, there's just an endless amount of things that you can do. If you see it, and if you see it as like a dessert, I mean, I guarantee you we can do it with a donut.
It sounds like fun, and it seems like you can almost have an endless possibility of creation.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, that's the thing, and that's not even including like filled stuff like sandwiches or, you know, I mean, there's I've really got, I mean, it's super simple, but like just coating stuff, like even like coating bananas or coating like bacon and chocolate and doing stuff, you know, you can still build. I mean, you can look at like any sort of dish, try and interpret how you build the donut. I mean, from main savory dishes to dessert dishes. But yeah, and then to get really creative, I mean, that's, you know, they say nothing new is created under the sun. I mean, it's just, you know, a lot of stuff has been done, but I mean, there's different takes on it. You get inspiration from a lot of different places. And it's totally, like I said, it's still just donuts. So you can't take it too seriously.
Right.
But I mean, it's cool, but we do, I mean, we still like I mean, that's where I become ADD and kind of OCD. More OCD is where, you know, each donut should look like a little piece of art, and it should look good, it should look clean. I definitely sit here and throw out donuts if I don't like the way they look.
So now you may not want to let us out of bag though. So do you have any like unique and creative directions that you're going to take donuts next?
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. I got one thing I'm working on right now that I've had since the beginning. Before, like, yeah, it was something that my brother Brendan and I had talked about way back before the truck. But I mean, the whole inception of this idea. You know, I went to him with it, thinking we could partner up, and we kind of were messing around one night and came up with an idea, and we still haven't done it. It still hasn't been done, and no one else has done it yet. So I can't, unfortunately, let that one out of the bag. But there is more stuff. I mean, other ideas like, you know, like a donut stand, like donut sandwiches. I have a sandwich press that I'm gonna start using. The bread pudding has gone over really well. I mean, that's really cool. Like, and that's a neat breakfast / dessert item. I mean, we're gonna do, you know, like a donut bar. I think that's something that is in the future where you kind of make your own donut. That type of thing. Yeah. We're working actually with a local company right now. I can't really say who it is, but they've got several locations here in St. Louis, and we're partnering up with them to do something really cool as well. So I mean, there's going to be some neat things that we're working on. You know, you never really want to say anything because who knows what's going to happen.
True.
You know, anything can happen.
Now, do you have any plans to do any type of mass production / retail?
I'd like to see a new store. You know, we did Straub's for a while. Atomic Cowboy still carries them. White Box has them. You know, these mini Vinnies, that's kind of the idea of the mini Vinny. I mean, my father had a really cool idea of having a box. You know, Entenmann's, you know, those long donuts. They were actually the company the first to put a transparent window in the box.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean, you could do like different shape box. You just get a die cut, and we were thinking my father's idea of having a die cut box the shape of the truck. And then you could do, because, you know, the thing is you can't necessarily ship these anyway. For one, they're going to get to the place, they're going to be crushed, and I don't use, you know, it's not a bag mix. I mean, that's why other places here talk about shipping donuts and stuff like that. It's easy for them because, you know, the stuff that they use has all those preservatives. They've got a 3 to 4 day shelf life, so, you know, I mean, they could even get by with selling, you know, day-old donuts.
Right.
This stuff stales out. I mean, so no, you know, but doing smaller things like that, coating them in chocolate and doing that type of stuff, I mean, yeah, there's been thoughts of it. The holes are an easy way to go. I mean, that's something cool, like those truffles, you know, it's not necessarily a donut, it's still a donut hole, but it's not your traditional donut, but as a dessert item. There's ways to get around that and still stay true to the whole from scratch for the donuts.
Okay, I think this will be the last question. Which donuts are your favorite?
Who's are?
Which
I haven't had them, but there's a place in Portland called Blue Star. Are you talking local? Are you talking...
Your favorite out of here and your favorite here? Yeah.
Also, Blue Star I haven't had. But there's like even Yum Yum Donuts. I used to love, my dad used to get Dunkin' Donuts like on Sundays after church and stuff like that. And so I still have a fondness for that, you know. But no, my favorite outside of here without even having it is, I like Blue Star, I like their image, I like what they do. They got some really cool stuff. I want to try all those places like Donut Plant. I want to try Top Pot in Seattle. I want to try, you know, my favorite is Do Right Donuts or Donut Vault. That's a tough tie. Those two, both of those are in Chicago. Do Right and Donut Vault.
Wow.
They've got some really good stuff. They've got stands up there. They've got glazed and infused. They've got little donut shops that run out of the back of other restaurants, which is kind of cool. Here, I don't know, man. That's hard. You know what I liked is, and it was Cafe Ventana. It was Christopher Lee. He did it. When he was down there. That was a few years back, but he used to do beignets. He did really good beignets out of there. If you're gonna go for a straight up donut, like I mean, donut drive-in.
Yeah.
You know, they're really good. They use the Dawn bag mix. They use the same stuff that everybody else does, but for some reason, you know, and they like almost proudly display the window. They don't care. They do, but they do it well. You know, so it'd probably be donut drive-in. I mean, you gotta love World's Fair because the Beehive. You know, I mean, you got, you know, I mean that's like an iconic place too.
Which one is your favorite here that you actually make?
Here?
Yeah.
Lemon meringue.
Oh.
And it's, I mean, that one is just, I just love the look of it. I mean, that's one that we did one night where it's filled. But I actually do like if you've seen it, I think you followed the...
Yeah.
I put it up recently where it was with the more classic type meringue.
Yeah. I see that and I'm like, wow, it just looks incredible.
It's neat. This was the one with the soft-boiled egg in the middle. That's like...
Oh, wow.
This is, the movie Dope. We just had a production company come to us. That's mint.
Cool.
That's a grasshopper one.
That's pretty cool.
That's chocolate and mint, so it's a grasshopper. It's a mint, obviously made to look like, you know, something else. But my wife loves the chocolate-covered chocolate with chocolate ganache. This is a newer one that I've done. So this has a chocolate coating. It's a chocolate cake on the inside, and then you got the ganache on top.
That looks incredible.
That's a big one. That's a really good one. That one sells pretty damn fast. I made some extra ones last night, and we've only got that might be the only one left. But yeah, so lemon meringue. I like citrus. Lemon meringue. When that one's not here, if it's out of the standard ones, the lemon lavender. It's just really nice. It's really subtle. We use lavender oil. We use fresh squeezed lemon for the glaze. We zest some lemon over the top, and then we use some lavender buds. This is going to be kind